You are listening to the Cookbook Love Podcast with Maggie Green, episode number 340.
Welcome to the Cookbook Love Podcast, a podcast that celebrates cookbook readers, buyers, collectors, writers, and clubs. And now your host, cookbook author, culinary dietitian, and cookbook writing coach, Maggie Green.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cookbook Love Podcast. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Here we are in the middle of March, and it's been a great week here. Had a very busy week, and busy in a good way, busy in an intentional way, and busy, of course, in a fun way. So we're going to talk today about something that I think will help you if you're a cookbook writer, thinking about wanting to write a cookbook. Maybe you're thinking about wanting to build an online business or start a podcast or start a newsletter, or maybe even in your own personal life, this might help you also. So, of course, the name of this episode is what you think someone needs versus what they want. And this came up for me because in March, we have 3 birthday celebrations in our family that I am buying gifts for. And this is part of our family tradition related to birthdays. This event that is a birthday, there's ritual around it, which is celebrating the person who's born that day and sharing gifts and a meal and a cake with them. And I love this ritual. I love entering into the celebration of the person that we are celebrating. I think it's very important to celebrate our lives and celebrate the lives of the people that we love. So the gift giving is very fun for me. So we just think about gift giving just in general for people that we care about. We have a choice about the gifts that we give them. We can give them what we think they need, or we can give them something that they want. And how do we know the difference between those two things? I want to talk about that today related to gift giving, and then I'm going to talk about it related to cookbook writing, building an online business, and I'll bring it down to something that I even did personally in my own business just yesterday. So gift giving, what we think they need. So when I think about the 3 people that I'm giving gifts to in March, I can think of tons of things I think they need. I mean, I'm their mother. One of them is a boyfriend of my daughter, and I can think of things that he might need. It's not hard for moms to think of things that our kids might need. It actually makes me kind of laugh because it might be things that never even crossed their mind that we're like, oh yeah, I'm sure they need that. They probably need clean towels. Maybe they need clean sheets. Maybe they need stuff for their kitchen, new socks, new underwear. Maybe they need, who knows? I could think of a ton of things, and I could just brainstorm lists of all these different things that they need. But gifts that are given to me that mean the most to me are gifts that I either give myself or that people give to me if it's something that I really want. And the way that I know that it's something that people want is because I know the person I'm giving the gift to. And I have spent time paying attention to them. Now, what does that mean? That means that when we're together in the same room, I'm listening to them talk. If we're out together, my older son, whose birthday it is, lives in Chicago. If we're out together and he is walking around, or we're in conversation, or we're going places and he mentions something, I'm like, oh, that might be something that he actually wants. I listen to what he says, pay attention and pick up on these things and tune in to their frequency. And so the way I remember, of course, what they say is I keep my trusty Google Keep app on my phone is my note-taking app, and I write things down that I hear them say. And this is true for any of them. Boyfriends, girlfriends, daughter, sons, husband, sisters, mother-in-law, anything, I always am paying attention to what they say and writing it down. Okay, so the next thing is listen to them, pay attention to them. And this gives for very fun gift giving because when they open it, they're like, oh, how did you know what I wanted? And it's because I've listened and I've paid attention and I just knew that it was something that you would enjoy. And when you can connect with the gift that way, there is nothing better in the world. And you're so excited to give the gift and have them open it and have it really be something that they want. Okay, so let's take this to the level of cookbook writing and teaching people things about food and cooking. So I got an email the other day to help participate in the planning of a program about cooking. And they're like, you've got your cookbooks, you'd be great to help us, and we're going to get together. Can we pick your brain? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I kind of know what they are wanting to talk about and the group they want to teach to cook. But I'm wondering if they really even know what this group of people want when it comes to being taught to cook. Because as you know, the way I feel about cooking, it's not just teaching people how to cook. It's everything that goes along with getting a meal on the table. From planning what you're going to cook, to shopping for the ingredients, from the food preparation skills to the cleanup. It is a whole process. This isn't as simple as just giving someone a crock pot recipe, because there's a whole lot more to getting food in that crock pot and getting it on the table than just the recipe. Okay, so I started thinking, I wonder if they really know what they want. And it's not that I'm hesitant to sit down with someone and plan a cooking event, but if they don't even know what people want, we could sit and plan all day long and never give people what they really want and need. So I just asked back if this was a plan. They had something already planned that they wanted me to participate in, or if this was just the beginning. And she said, this is just the beginning. We're only brainstorming. And she went on to say, like, maybe there's things that they might want to know about shopping. There's things they might want to know about cooking. And she said, maybe, she kind of answered her own question. She said, well, maybe it might be a good idea if I put out a suggestion box and ask them what they actually wanted to learn. And I thought to myself, bingo, that's what you need to do. And I wrote back and said, I think that's a great place to start. Find out first what it is they want. What do they want to learn? Maybe they just want to learn how to make chocolate chip cookies. Maybe they want to learn how to boil an egg. Maybe they want to learn how to grocery shop. Those are three completely different things. So yes, 100%. Find out what they want and let's go from there. Can you see how it would have been if I had met for a coffee and a brainstorming session and picking my brain and planning all the things that we think these people might need versus really reaching them with what they want? Now let's take this to the business level. As you all know, I run an online business where I teach cooks and bakers how to publish their recipes in books, either through self or traditional publishing. And it's easy for me to sit here and think that I know what everybody needs. You need to know how to write a recipe. You need to know what about putting a book together. You need to know about the paths to publishing. You need to know that some publishers pay you and some publishers don't. You need to know all of these things. And I just finished the launch of Get Paid to Get Published, which is my program where I help food and nutrition experts get paid to write cookbooks so they don't have to spend their own money to get published. And we are kicking off this week. Actually, as of the time this podcast is going to come out, we'll have had our kickoff call, and the door to that offer is currently closed. But after I finish a launch like that I've put a lot of energy into, the next day that I have to send out an email, I'm always like, okay, what should I start talking about now? Because I send regular daily emails to my email list. which, by the way, if you're not on my email list, there's a link below where you can download a free checklist called the Art of Cookbook Creation. You get the checklist, you get on my email list, you can have access to these daily emails. Okay, so I think, well, what am I going to talk about? So I thought about a couple things and thought, well, I don't know. I don't really know what they need right now. And I really wasn't even sure what I wanted to write about. So I wrote a 1-sentence email and I said, got a question for you. And I put their first name there. I said, what's one thing you want to learn about writing and publishing cookbooks? Hit reply. I'll be excited to hear your answer. And I signed off the email. That was it. I call it my one thing email now. And I got replies back from the people on my email list about the things that they want to learn about cookbook writing and publishing. Everything from a cookbook writer's flow to marketing and promoting a cookbook, and several different things in between. So the beauty of this is now I know there are people on my list that have told me what they want me to talk about, what they want me to help them with through my teaching, through my courses, through my classes, through this podcast, through my emails, through all the ways that I can help them. I know exactly what they want. So if you are stuck wondering about a gift for a person, what to write your cookbook about, what to build your next online course about, what to talk about on your podcast, what to do with your family, maybe an activity, what do you want to do with your friends this weekend? Ask them. Ask them what they want, or listen to them and pay attention to them and pick up clues about what they want. Through the podcast episodes, I can tell through the downloads and listening which podcast episodes resonate with people, and that tells me what people want. In my emails, I can tell which emails get opened more, which links people are clicking on, what people are responding to, and that also helps me to see what you want. So for me, this is transformational because I become a person that is more tuned in to the people I care about, which is my family, my friends, my husband, my cookbook readers, and you, rather than always focusing on what I think people need. And we can all get all up in our heads and do a lot of overthinking and think we know what people need. Well, she needs this. They need to learn that. I need to teach them this, without ever even thinking about asking them or paying attention or listening to what they want. So that is my challenge for you today. If you're not sure, rather than trying to predict what you think they need, ask them what they want. Ask them what they need. Ask how you can help them. Pay attention to what they say. Listen to them. Spend time with them. Take notes. That's my favorite thing. And write down what the ideas, and you're going to have an amazing list of just gift ideas when you really tune in to what people say that they want and what they need. And I want to tell you, sometimes these wants that people have are based truly on desire, like aspiration, things that are fun, things that would be enjoyable. And that is perfect way to fill their needs. And then sometimes it is truly things they need, maybe for housing, food, clothing, shelter, some of those really basic needs. We can certainly help people meet those too. But wants and needs are not always related to personal safety, food, clothing, and shelter. Sometimes they're things that are really fun. And for my family that I'm shopping for this birthday season, that is exactly the case. Many of the things that I'm sharing with them, I know are things that they like, things they want, sometimes things they need, but truly gifts from me to help celebrate who they are and these birthdays for them. So again, the link is below in the show notes if you want to download the Art of Cookbook Creation checklist. Love to have you on my email list. And that is it for this week, for today's episode of the Cookbook Love Podcast. This is your host, Maggie Green, and until next time, have a great day and keep loving your cookbooks.
Thanks for listening to the Cookbook Love Podcast. You can find out more information at www.cookbooklove.co.